You know, my favorite guy was that the gay dude who lied about his past completely.
Santos.
Yeah, and now he just talks shit about everybody.
I know. Dude, his lies were so crazy too. Like they would be lies like it wasn't even lies like with like a political benefit to it or something. It was just like a lie like it's like, you know, as captain of the volleyball team at Harvard, and they were like, not only did you not play volleyball, you never went to Harvard. Like none of this is real. Like you're just making up things where you're like,
Did he
none
say
of this
that?
even
Did he really say that?
No, but I'm
Did
just,
you make that one up?
Just making that
But
one up. It was like lies
silly?
like that where you were like, none of this
What
is
did he
true.
lie about, Jamie? But he's hilarious, man. When you hear him interviewed, he's fucking hilarious. Where he turns on him talking about how they're all stealing money and this one's the worst.
That's great.
Well, he's a con man in a fucking sea of con men.
According to New York Mag, he lied about this. Lied to donors.
Allegedly lied to donors, then used their money to make purchases at Hermes and OnlyFans. He used campaign money for personal travel and Botox. Oh my God, I love this guy. Allegedly lied to collect unemployment benefits. Oh my God, that's so funny. He's charged with, hold on a second. He's charged with stealing people's identities and making charges on his own donors' credit cards. Wait, where are you going?
I'm just going down the list.
Yeah, but I'm reading it. Where?
It's right here. This is where I was.
Okay. Well, stealing people's identities and making charges on his own donors' credit cards without their authorization, lying to the FEC, and by extension, the public about the financial state of his campaign. So Santos falsely inflated the campaign's reported receipts with non-existent loans and contributions that were either fabricated or stolen. So he's just making up numbers about how much money they had, stealing people's money.
Dude, spending campaign contributions on
Botox
OnlyFans and
OnlyFans.
Botox is just the. I mean, it's hard not to root for that guy.
Listen, they're all crooks. Look, the inside trading is off the chart. It is so crazy that that's legal.
Yeah.
It's so crazy that that's legal. Dude, so while that's going on, you're gonna get mad at this guy for this.
Well,
this
look,
seems minor.
Dude, you look at no, that's it, and that's what's so kind of like funny about it is that like you think about dude, the Clintons. Okay, Bill and Hillary Clinton have since I was a little kid. I mean, since I was like 4 or 5 years old. Was when he was governor in Arkansas. Their entire career is they were public servants and they ran a charity. And they're worth like $100 million or something like that. Like, wait a minute, huh? Wait a minute, so you guys haven't been practicing law any of this time. You haven't been working in some industry where you've made tons of money. You were public servants who make, healthy salaries, but not like that's going to put you in the hundreds of millions of dollars. And you ran a charity, the Clinton Foundation. And now somehow you're Barack and Michelle Obama. He goes into the White House. Look at the house he lives in now. It's like, so there is almost something where everyone turns at Santos because obviously like that's such a cartoonish, easy, version of it.
Yeah.
But it is kind of wild that there's so much outrage against this guy. And, it's like in the same sense where like, there'll be like corruption in say like some Eastern European countries. There's corruption where like the level of corruption is like, if you get pulled over by the cop, you could slip him some money and he'll let you go. Now, we don't have that in America, right? Like you can't really ever slip a cop money when he pulls you over in America. You may wish you could in certain situations, but you can't really do that. I'm not saying it's never happened, but you really can't do that in America. But we have like the prison guard union lobbying to keep mandatory minimums on marijuana. So like, okay, you could look down your nose at this primitive form of corruption, but think about how fucked up that is. You know what I mean? You're like, and that's just all it is just corruption on a much, much bigger level.
But it's legal corruption.
Exactly. And everyone just accepts it.
It's a wild time, my friend, because people have access to information now that allows them to really see all this stuff. Like the insider trading thing's probably been going on forever. But we didn't even hear about it until about a decade ago.
Yeah. Very rarely came up.
Rarely.
It was just kind of accepted that like all of these people are rich.
Yeah.
And we don't really know where they got their money from.
Except like, Jimmy Carter. And that's one of the things that people loved about Jimmy Carter. Is Jimmy Carter to the end really just maintained a very simple lifestyle, and just never chased money. He never was that guy. He didn't do those crazy speeches where he talks to bankers and makes $500,000 for some strange reason.
Yeah.
Like those speeches are wonderful because those are the cutest. Those are the cutest ones. Because, like, wait a minute, your policies benefited these corporations, and then, surprise, surprise, those people, after you leave office, want to hear you talk so badly. They're willing to fuck the market up.
Yeah, well, I'll tell
They're
you.
willing to give you hundreds of thousands of dollars to come talk.
This is also, I think, where there's a flaw. Okay, so this is maybe one of the reasons why I'm a libertarian and not a progressive. I mean, there's many reasons, but one of the things that I think a lot of progressives, who I think are like well-intentioned, their big thing will be like, we got to get the money out of politics. And what they mean by that is that we can't let, say corporations contribute to political campaigns or something like that, because then, of course, they're just basically buying, corruption. Buying But I think like the flaw, like Cenk Uygur and people like that, that's like his big issue, is get the money out of politics. But I think the flaw in that is that, yeah, but they always find a way to get, because look, those speeches, that's not contributing to anyone's campaign.
Right.
And that's not technically rewarding you for bailing out the big banks. It's just you happen to bail out the big banks, and then they happen to really want to listen to what you have to say after that. And look,
of course the book deal's warranted. People want to read your book.
It's like the idea that you could ever close down on every single loophole. Look, the Saudis weren't allowed to contribute money to Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign because you're not allowed to do that. But they could give $10 million to the Clinton Foundation. And then once Hillary Clinton lost, it's so weird, they stopped donating. Like, I don't know, they just stopped being interested in charity, The House of Saud was really interested in charity for a while there in 2016. And then they stopped being so interested. So essentially, I think, like, the libertarian view on it is that it's like, no. Whatever rule you want to have, if you have this much power in Washington, D.C., that power is going to be corrupted. And people will find a way. The only answer is to reduce the power.
Yeah.